So now these 4 techniques, active recall, spaced practice, interleaving, and elaborative interrogation, these are simple techniques, but they are effective and backed by science to make your learning faster and effective. The method that you are using for learning English isn't as effective as it could be. 4 simple yet powerful learning strategies to make your English journey faster, easier, and more enjoyable. Hey everyone, welcome back to Fluency Goals. I'm Mandeep, your English coach. Today in this lesson, we are going to learn why traditional English learning methods fail you and how to fix it. So if you have been learning English for a while but feel stuck, don't lose hope. It's not because you're not talented or because English isn't for you. It's likely because the method that you are using for learning English isn't as effective as it could be. Now, many people spend hours learning English but don't see results. Why is that? Have you ever wondered? The good news is you can learn faster and better by tweaking your approach to learning English language. Today, I'll share 4 simple yet powerful learning strategies to make your English journey faster, easier, and more enjoyable. So stick with me because by the end of this lesson, you'll have practical tips to include in your daily English learning routine and see progress yourself. Now, first of all, in order to know how to fix our learning methods, we should know where the problem lies. Traditional learning habits like English grammar rules or memorizing vocabulary lists make you feel like you're learning. But here's the catch. These methods often don't help you learn English in real life. If you're focusing too much on grammar and you are learning vocabulary words, lists, but when it comes to the actual use of these methods, it doesn't help. So how do we fix it? Now, the problem with these methods is that they don't actively engage your brain. So, what does work? Let's explore these 4 science-backed learning techniques that can help you learn faster. Number 1 is active recall. Active recall. Now, this method works as you challenge yourself to recall information from memory. For instance, when you're studying vocabulary, hide the definitions and test yourself. Now, whenever you learn some vocabulary lesson, say, or you watch a new video on English language learning, or you read something that is going to add to your English language learning, whether it's vocabulary lesson, idioms, you take a pause and try to summarize it in your own words. Now, this simple method, it's going to strengthen your memory while your brain tries to recall the information that has been learned in the video lesson or in the reading lesson, and it helps in retrieving the information. And when you do that, you are engaging your brain to learn all the lesson actively. Now, you can use flashcards or the apps like Quizlet to review words or phrases of vocabulary. Similarly, you can quiz yourself on topics that you have learned. You can ask yourself, what was the main idea of this lesson? Let me use these words, these phrases, these idioms in my own sentences. Where can I use this in my everyday conversation? So try to repeat them and use them in your conversations. So the moment you have learned something new, try to make up a conversation in your head and use it. So now this method feels a bit harder than just rereading, revising your notes on English language learning, but trust me, it gives you better results in your learning journey. Now the second method is spaced practice. Spaced practice. Now, if we talk about timing, many learners, they just try to cram a lot of information at one go. But science tells us that spacing out your learning is far more effective. Now, here's how it works. You got to study a bit every day instead of studying all in a day. Now, this approach gives your brain time to process information, to gather information, absorb it, and the time to process it. So instead of spending an hour of a day learning, spread it out 15 minutes 3 times a week. So that way you'll achieve your goals to learning faster and you'll be able to retain more information. And moreover, when you learn new words, always try to test yourself, quiz yourself on what you learned yesterday and day before so that you re-repeat it in your head and it gets reviewed. So make this a habit to review your learning every 2 days after learning it. Now, the key here with this method is not how much time you spend on your learning, but rather how consistent you are in your learning and how focused you are during your practice session. Now, the third technique here is interleaving. Interleaving, or you can also call it mix it up with interleaving. Now, what is interleaving? Interleaving is instead of just focusing on one activity during your study time, mix it up with another skill. Let's say you have started your learning session focusing on your listening skill, right? Start by listening to a podcast and then mix it up with focusing on the writing skill. Like after listening the podcast, try summarizing it up with writing a quick summary of the podcast. And finally, when you are done writing the summary, you can practice your speaking skill by speaking your summary aloud. So this will involve 3 skills at a go. That is your listening skill, your writing skill, as well as your speaking skill. So mixing up skills while learning can also work in your favor. So this mixing up of skills is called interleaving. Now switching between skills like listening, speaking, reading and writing, it helps your brain to process the information quickly, connect the dots to practice it actually in the real world scenarios. So in the real world scenario, nobody tells you that, okay, you have got to focus on just one activity. Sometimes you have to type texts quickly, write down the email, and then you have to speak about something immediately. So try practicing interleaving in your language learning. The last one here is elaborative interrogation. Think deeply with elaborative interrogation. Now, this technique is all about asking the right questions. When you come across something new, be it grammar, vocabulary, or acquiring new pronunciation, ask yourself, why does this work this way? Or how can I use this information in my own life? For instance, you are listening to a podcast. So the speaker is sharing about an experience. You listen to the tense and try to understand that why the speaker has used the past tense here. Why past perfect tense is used instead of past tense here. Try to understand it and then relate it how you can use it in your own speaking while talking about your experiences. When you come across new words and you look for meaning in the dictionary, don't just stop there and try memorizing the meaning. Try to use it in the sentences of your own. And also try to make up conversation around just a simple dialogue around that word so that it can actually be used in the conversation. So that way the information is stored better in your mind and the information processing also happens on a deeper level. This way, simply by employing this technique, you are turning your study session into an active thinking exercise. So now these 4 techniques, active recall, spaced practice, interleaving and elaborative interrogation, these are simple techniques, but they are effective and backed by science to make your learning faster and effective. The bonus tip here is start small. Pick one of these strategies first and try to implement it in your learning. And then slowly move on to the other strategies and implement them. Now, I would like to know how this technique is working for you. Don't forget to leave a comment here. I would love to hear about your progress. Remember, while learning a new language, consistency is the key, and with the right methods, you will see progress faster than you think. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. to keep following for more such lessons. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week with another lesson. Till then, happy learning.